And we're back. This is map 3 of the best of 3. This is RGN Pro Series European Closed Qualifier, LGR versus Epsilon. I'm joined with Max, and this is the knife round to decide what side starts on, or which team starts on what side. And this is a pretty big decision, I think, for Nuke, generally speaking, a CT-sided map. But again, I'm not very versed with it. Max, what's your thoughts on, with the sample size of what we've seen since Nuke's come out, like, and with, like, the major and whatnot? What side do you think this map is?
The only issue we have with Nuke so far is whenever it has been played, we don't know if both teams actually practice it the same amount.
Right.
So far, it seems to be the same as it used to be. So a map that you need to get, in the 10 to 11 plus rounds on the CT side. But the way they actually designed the outside now, with basically the rafters going from silo to heaven, you can actually run all the way through there. It's going to be really interesting to see how those two teams actually are going to be playing it. I've played it a couple of times because on ESCA now it's the map of the week, and I feel like it's not as CT-sided as we thought it could be. And if you have good strategies on that T side, you could maybe get around the 6th round mark. But at the same time, it always depends on the team you're playing. There's teams that are better on the T side, some on the CT side, and at the end, I feel it's a map where the outside control is really important because of that secret area. And in this version, they actually added back the new toxic in the useless room, which was not there before. But they actually closed out one vent. So when you're upper, you can only rotate from one vent, and you can, like, it's kind of weird how the map is designed. And I think they did that to make it a little bit less CT-sided and make the rotate a little bit less fast on the CT side. But I mean, I'm gonna be really interested to see Epsilon and CT side right now, so maybe it's gonna be good for them.
So, well said. Let's go live into this pistol round. It's just gonna be a quick upper take. They're already out the hut. Quick kills from 7. Sagerton follows up with a 3rd, and that is control. They know Zelos is pushed up ramp. Zuri is waiting for Twist to help him. Zealous is anticipating that rotate, caps him off. He knows where Zuri is. Zuri knows that, so he's just waiting. Draken picks up another kill. Zealous evens it up, so now it's a 2-on-2. Really well done to just break down the angles into multiple one-on-ones by both players. Zevin and Sagerton peek mini together and get that kill. So now it's Zelos. Zelos picking up that kit smartly. Only has a few bullets left, but 7 finishes it off. Picks up the USP to boot, and LGR just answer heavy, coming right out of the gates, right through hut.
I like that. I like that fast upper actually rush. Actually works pretty well. The new hut design makes it easier for the T's to see the CT cross towards Heaven to Mustang, and I feel like they actually utilize that really well. And right now, we're seeing them kind of taking that outside control kind of fast, and that's what I like to see on that T side.
Yeah, and just from what we've seen from LGR this whole time, it's been kind of slow, methodical stuff. So maybe Epsilon thinking like, oh, they're going to play spread out, or they're going to play a little bit slow. Let's just leave, probably not just going to rush upper. Or if they are, they're just going to go through the door and go down the vent, as you see a lot on T-pistol rounds. And no, they just go right out the hut. So I think just a good like kind of counter play to how they normally play. But let's get past that. We're going into the anti-eco for the terrorists. They've already done a good job. They've gotten 1 kill. Everyone's at 100 HP across the board. They're holding down the lobby. Zelos with the scout, just holding outside. They have the 3 other players stacked in inner. So ramp is technically open, but it looks like they're not even close to pushing towards that area. Freddy B is getting a little curious. Pushes into the shadow spot at hut. Gets the kill, gets bombed down, so now he just needs to hold this angle. 7 gets taken down. Twista throwing nades probably from the roof, follows up, gets that bomb again, and is moving around. There's an AK down on the ground, and oh my god, Zealous just spams through that and gets the tag. Typical Zealous. And Twista going around, walking through ramp. He hears Disco Doppelin moving around there, so that's some information he can kind of work with. So he got scouted through there. He hears the jumping up around the hut, so he has a pretty, I think, decent idea that where both of them are. Bomb's going down. planning on that right side, using that new cover from the hut, and isn't able to complete that first kill on Zelos, and so they're able to kind of flood out, get out, do enough damage to cap off that round, and then that is a devastating result for LGR. There's nothing worse than losing your anti-eco round because you kind of invest a lot of money to make sure you can deal with a lot of situations on that side. They do get the bomb down, so that's definitely one little plus out of the cons out of that round.
And like you just said, it seems like right now they just went straight into another like force battle, like, oh, let's go Galil, Dig, and Tech9 and just try something again. And I'm assuming with those type of guns, it would be worth for them to actually try to do something fast. And it seems it's going to be an upper rush right off the bat.
Yeah, pretty cool flashbangs coming in from the roof into upper, and it's just going to leave some great openings, but Disco takes away that advantage right away, throws the nade, and gets that kill onto 7. So bomb down, Draken peeking in through mini, gets an opening, but isn't able to capitalize. And now Zuri answers back, Doppelin gets a kill onto Saw, and then Zealous rotating, insta-gibbs that guy through window. You gotta hand it to Disco, completely salvaging that round. Good use of nades from LGR. Basically did exactly what they wanted to, which is that they opened up that upper bomb site. They were able to get 2 kills right away. But then Disco rotating upper and just goes to town on him.
Felt like they had the perfect counter to what Epsilon is doing. And what I like on the T side and the new way the map is designed is it's really hard for the CT side to actually set up on that upper bomb side because of the timings and how the hut is designed. Because if you get out hut, you can see the guy cross Mustang. Whenever you get out by Squeaky, most of the time the guy's not even close there. So it's really interesting to see. I feel like this map on T side is going to be a little bit more fast-paced because of how the spawn works now. Because I think the T-spawn are a little bit more forward than what they used to be in the prior version, and the CT spawn are a little bit more back.
Yeah, kind of a little give or take. Kind of a nice, consistent thing that Valve has been doing on all these maps when they're changing stuff, is in that they kind of give and then they take. You know, there's this change you can wrap around from upper, but you can only use one of the vents now. So, you know, doing a decent job at trying to balance the maps. It takes a little bit of time, of course, but let's get past that, get into this next gun round, and it's going to be kind of a default that you like to see from the Terrace side. Spam around a little bit, maintain the control of lobby, and then putting a few players in position to work outside. So they're utilizing that spot. Disco playing a great spot to isolate that Twinkie area. But Saw has an AK, and that fight will win every time if you hit the bullet on the face versus an M4. And so now that presence from Secret is gone, and now the CT defense has thinned out just a little bit. Terrace maintaining control of lobby, though. Epsilon isn't pushing through. The door has pretty much been blown off of the hinges at this point. You could basically jump through that if you wanted to, if this was real, but obviously that's not in the game mechanics, so you have to open it still. They're gonna go through ramp, trade it out. Zealous does a good job of getting that kill, so it's 4 on 3. CT still trying to just do what they can to dwindle away at the terrorists. Smoke's going down to cover. They clear out that useless room, plan out on the left side, holding the vent. Some fire going through the smoke from Rez, who is playing towards that valley control area this whole time, waiting out the smoke. But Zuri has been flanking this whole time, misses his opportunity. Now Rez is going down the valley. Draken with his AWP at back ramp, or excuse me, at the back of the vent, and they're still seeming like they're gonna go for it. 7 in a great spot to get this kill, but Freddy P capitalizing. Rez gets another one. Where is Zuri? He's at the door. He's actually in a good spot to deal with this, but looks like he didn't have any armor there, and he got just kicked back. And Epsilon win that retake. It looked pretty shaky as to whether Epsilon was gonna go for it or not. But right in that little window of you know, probably where you need to make that decision, Epsilon comes up with 2 big kills and makes it an easy one.
Exactly, and I feel like Zori there had a really good flank coming from Secret. He saw that guy that was towards the window room. He should have landed that shot on the guy with the ump. Instead, he whiffed that, so they kind of knew what was going on. And it should, I felt like on LGR side it was really sloppy. Like it was an easy way to actually hold the bomb. They should have won that round like a million times, but then like you said, it's just a thing of mistakes. Like LGR made some mistakes, Epsilon capitalized on those mistakes, and just at that right window, right timing, they're like, okay, well it's the time to go in, and they win that round.
So going into this next gun round, Epsilon going aggressive towards that ramp, and Disco throwing down a molly is going to force all of those players that were in that J or the J hall to move out, and now they have control over ramp. But the CTs have made their adjustments. 2 players under the ramp, 2 players holding from Mustang and the vent room, but lots of audio information at lower is going to prompt the CTs to rotate. But the terrorists are in pretty decent position. 3 players coming down through the vent. Disco jumping out to get that back cat control or back vent control, and it's going to trade out perfectly to a one-on-one fight. Draken at that vent area misses that shot, but he has a smoke and a Molotov still. But he isn't expecting Saw to just play aggressively and go out that door. Gets caught jumping down, and that's a round for LGR. Huge round, in fact, as that will kind of even out the money situation a little bit. Rez has a lot of money, still's gonna drop an op since he's flowing so big, buys himself up. So now, yeah, the money's pretty much even at this point, so to speak. Maybe 5,000 or so. But this is a big round to kind of tell what's gonna go on for the rest.
And that round, like you just mentioned, this round right here is really important because if they lose that round, it's going to be basically a reset on everybody's money. So it's kind of the round that's going to dictate the rest of the SAF, I feel like. And both teams have really good utilities going on. So if Epsilon win this, we should maybe be looking at like a easier half for them. Maybe like exactly what we're talking about in that pregame 11-4. But if LGR wins this, I mean, it gets a little bit more interesting. You're going to be probably able to get to that 4, maybe 5 round mark, which is starting to look good so far as what we've seen on that new Nuke match.
Exactly. So let's catch up on what's going on in this round. LGR just working their progression. 3 players dedicated to working that outside control from Twinkie. They already have the red box, the CT red box control. They're very focused on secret. No CTs are over on that secret area though. Disco is the player that kind of plays outside. He kind of roams around the classic get right CT spot, and he's actually going to play towards that that old entrance from like 1.6 back there. So he's basically playing for if they're going to flank that ladder. But the rest of the Epsilon players set up pretty standard. Opt to distract the players coming in from J. They have a boosted player in Zelos. He's kind of playing that shroud spot. 7 is privy to it, so he's going to pre-aim over there. And that off angle is not going to capitalize on its own. So he goes down. Disco gets another kill outside, and they go through the vent. Quick plant from up into upper, but the bomb is down. Time is running out. 6 seconds. Rez looking for another. They're gonna have just enough time to get this last second plant down. How close is that? 2 on 3. Disco 100 or not 100, 50 HP going down into the valley. That control area is completely empty. There's a player in the back vent waiting for it. Disco looking around from control. No one's going to be showing themselves from that LGR side from any angle. So door's going to open up. Disco looking to see if he can try to fight, but he guesses the wrong angle and twists to capitalize on that. So Draken 7 HP, kit, armor, op. Good reason to save all of those. So he's going to book it to T-spawn. And LGR going to come out with a victory here. I mean, that was a pretty tough round by them.
It was a tough round, but I mean, they still played really well. And so far, what we've seen, it seems that that lower bomb site is actually being used a lot. It seems to be maybe the bomb site that's, I don't know if it's easier to take, but it seems like it's the hardest one to retake. And it seems to be LGR choice of execute type. So they like to go towards that secret, get a control there, try to plant the bomb lower, and so far it's been working really well. And I like that. I feel like it's really interesting to see how they use that lower bomb site, and after that they actually have good post plant position, and right now it's looking really good for them on that T side with 3 rounds already, maybe a 4th one coming in if we assume that Epsilon guns isn't looking that great so far.
Yeah, they're just doing a good job. It's been this 3-man progression outside that we're seeing still right now. Zuri taking a bunch of different op angles, but Draken finds a way to get a kill onto Sagerton as he's trying to cross into Secret, so advantage CT. But the terrorists have still gained a lot of control from their progression outside. And my game just crashed. Can you take over?
So right now we're just seeing the T's just winning a bit. They just don't want to rush into anything. They have one man down. Disco Doppler is actually sitting up a rafter watching that hut push. Sorry, he's actually trying to... I mean, he's just dead right now from Freddy. Looks like the T's are going to probably start to execute a little bit more towards center. That's what I would assume. And
Right.
Disco Dolphin just got the kill, traded by X7. And right now we're looking at a 4v5, 4v2, sorry, for Epsilon. So I'm assuming LGR might try to. I mean, they're actually going for that. I would have maybe saved, but no. And just trade all over the place. So it's just being in that 1v2. Going towards the lower bomb side again. Both CTs. Freddy's gonna rotate from. Oh, I mean, I don't know what just happened there.
That's just a missed shot. And
I was really confused.
it's a close round there for the CTs. I didn't really see how that all played out, but bomb down right next to that vent gave a great path for that player to come out. I think it was Saw from the door and just go down there, get the bomb plant. So at the very least, terrorists get to maintain some money via the bomb going down, and the CTs need to take care of themselves, I think, a little bit more. But that's kind of the byproduct of when you play such an aggressive CT style, is that there's probably going to just be more deaths on your end unless you're absolutely going ham against the opponents. So money's still pretty tight on both sides. It can sway anyway. This would be a great round to win for the terrorists. They're going to go further, another progression outside. They're going to have some players Twinkie throw some smokes, have some presence, but there's a lot of action going on through the door. A lot of different interesting op angles for Zuri to work with. He's kind of been the point man for LGR's offense. Slow pace, but with an op holding all the different angles and possibly capitalizing. I think it's a good strategy. The early damage so far has been in favor of the CTs, which is great. Some players, 7 in particular, is insta-give material at this point. Actually gets spotted, but Zealous doesn't do the repeat. He's anticipating that maybe there's more than one person there. So he's going to fall back, hear a lot of information, and actually expose himself, and then 7 gets that kill. So get paying for that. And with that kill at ramp, maybe anticipating that the rotate would go quick to upper, but I think they kind of jumped the gun there. The rotate didn't even get a chance to even really digest what happened. Dust settles, he's going to a one-on-one, and then Freddy B playing from Mustang. That spot is so overpowered on Nuke and is able to win that round. But again, it's pretty close still. Even though the CTs are starting to rack up, it's only one person surviving again, or last few rounds have been 1 or 2. So terrorists are primed to take control over this half if they just get that elusive win.
And I feel like right now, just LGR just making the little small mistakes. Like, they could have won that round again. It's just unfortunate for them that they kind of lose those rounds that they should be winning. And if we look at this round that just happened, they should have maybe won that 1v1, but the round just prior to that, it was kind of like half by Epsilon. They had a couple guns, but they had like Novas, Max 7. So it should have been a more easy round for LGR, but instead it actually didn't work out in their way, and their money is not looking that well.
We just saw what happens when you learn the recoil pattern of the M4A4 on an Eco round. Absolutely beautiful recoil control by Disco Doppler. Able to spray down all 4 of those guys at ramp. And now this is kind of where CTs start to make their stride. A lot of money being saved up round by round. Now that that was kind of a safe round by them, but terrorists buy what they can, get a few smokes here or there. This is a huge round for them. This is this is where you kind of make that dip into embarrassing someone or, you know, keeping it close. So Draken pushed up, actually gets a tight angle and capitalizes on to Saw. Saw is gonna wish he didn't do that. Zelos pushes up right after, kind of you just utilizing the, oh, there's a kill over here, they're probably looking over there, good time to push, and again, it just happens. They take their turns, just like they say with Fnatic. And 5-on-2. All they need to do is make sure that they can't get into the bomb sites. This is where it gets kind of a tricky situation for the CTs and positioning, and where, you know, you kind of have to switch gears when you're Epsilon, but they're gonna keep going with their same style. If you come fight me, come and get it. There's not anyone else to really help too much. But, you know, the trades do happen. Zuri gets an AWP. He's at that J-Hall. He has bomb still. Disco Doplin watching the ramp. Rez is lower with Freddy B. So they're just going to play reactionary here. They're going to let them get into the site. They know that there's going to be a very loud beeping noise whenever Zuri gets in. So they don't even have to see him get into the site, really. Disco's playing Mustang, so this is kind of a difficult spot, and look at that. Perfect Counter-Strike timing. Rez coming up the vent, spots Zuri, and that's a pretty straightforward round for Epsilon. And now it's getting into that, you know, we're going to embarrass you territory. Look at the money on the terrace. No bomb plant means basically that they're going to have to save, so some smokes and techs coming in.
And right now what we're seeing is, like you just said, it seems like LGR had that really good start when they tried to go more towards the secret area, go down lower. Right now it seems to be working a little bit more towards the lobby and ramp. Hasn't been working out so far. So I would really like them to maybe go back to that old type of player, maybe something more heavy towards the outside, since there's only one guy playing there. But as of right now, the CT side from Epsilon is looking really good.
And you ask and you shall receive. Some outside action going on. A smoke execute. We talked a little bit about this before, or I think it was us with production before the match, how, you know, we saw Epsilon, how they handle their ecos. They just dig up and hope that they insta-gib, where the LGR, the more, you know, from what we've seen, a more teamwork style, like play style, they're going to go for the smoke execute, go outside, and try to get what they can. And it works out good. They've dwindled it down to a 2-on-2. Draken has a ton of nades though. So they're gonna molly out the vent, they molly out that. This is a perfect time to start diffusing, but they actually can get the diffuse behind the smoke. The guy vent has to wait because of the Molotov, doesn't have an HP to deal with that, and they get the diffuse. Great use of nades for kind of what the situation unfolded. And I'm glad, you know, I think honestly, you know how we get the NA versus EU comparisons. I think an NA team would see that they have all those nades and throw them like on their way, on their descent from ramp, where we kind of see Epsilon, they choke up to the bomb, use it, and then go for it. You know, it's just smart utilization of what they had.
And that's what they had to do. They know that it's planned for the backup bombs. That means it's planned for new toxic or vent. What are we gonna do? Molly the new toxic, molly the vent, smoke the bomb, and just cover those areas. And that's why nades are so powerful, and that's why mollies are so good in this game. And I feel like on Nuke, it's the map where mollies are really important because there's so many choke points that it makes them really strong.
Yeah, definitely. So we see an execute coming in from upper. LGR trying to go through. Freddy B coming up big though. Mustang coming into effect, even though they Molotoved it, and he's only down 28 HP. Draken, Disco follow it up, and Epsilon are cruising on CT. They're going to be good to buy out for the rest of the half. LGR, no bomb plan again, so they still have a lot of money bonus, obviously. And it looks like they're gonna get Zuri a scout. And I think that's gonna tell us that they're gonna work back to what they were doing before, which was, you know, 3 players working outside. Let's see if I'm right or wrong on that. It looks like I'm wrong. So, but there are some players going towards outside. Sagerton's gonna work it. Zuri's gonna play from Twinkie. They're gonna go for some quick ramp aggression, but Zelos just playing it well, gets that headshot. Zuri answers back. 7 answers again, and now it's advantage terrorist 4-on-3. Zuri's gonna keep pressing out from outside. They have secret control. Sagerton's down there. The CTs are kind of in a hard spot, and then Freddy B gets that kill onto Zuri. So I don't really like how they played that out. LGR, you got the advantage. You kind of want to, I think, group up at that point. But again, it was kind of that little window of like, oh, we're getting our player set up lower, then we'll group up after maybe like 10, 15 seconds. And that's when Epsilon goes for that duel and they get the one-on-one. So good job capitalizing on that. They're still holding tight here. Freddy B's actually pushing up from outside, so they're gaining a lot of information at this point. And actually, Rez was able to see Saw's foot, but it's kind of a weird angle, so probably not expecting it. Sagerton's primed to come up the vent, 7 and Saw, but Molotov going into the hut. Saw's going to look at that. He's going to be pressed up and behind that corner. No one's coming in just yet. Rez is still waiting. Flash come out. It's going to... They're expecting it though. They were waiting for that guy's secret. They knew he was there, so you could just see just the way how Rez played that he was perfectly like just anticipating someone jumping out of there. You know, it was kind of a double up angle. He could have been waiting for that guy door, but I really do think that they were just played it smart. They were aware that that player was probably going to do something.
And
like
Freddy got so much intel when he actually decided to push outside. So at some point, LGR didn't really have anything to do. It's like, okay, well, there's not really that many ways that we can go lower because of how the map is designed right now. We would have to go towards ramp, and there's people there. So our only choice right now is to go upper, and they just have that unlocked.
So it looks kind of like the same play. Draken is gonna get both kills on the guy's upper, so that's kind of prompt the players who were waiting normally at lobby to push in the hut and see what they can get. They try to go down the vent. Draken gets another kill, but Zuri gets that follow-up and picks up the bomb. It's 1-on-2, very winnable for the terrorists still, but there's a ton of utility still on the CTs. Both of them have kits, both of them have mollies and smokes. So if they just play for the, you know, it's the last round, the money carried over from the bonus doesn't matter at all. Just let this guy plant and play for the after plant. You have the utility to basically destroy anything he has in plan. Molly goes down the vent, so they're still thinking that he might be down there, and he's already towards T-spawn. So he has, I think, a decent chance at the element of surprise. I think that window might be going away here in about 10 seconds, but time is ticking here. Zelos playing a great spot where he just really only has to look at one spot and not be shot in the side. But Zuri's gonna walk right by him. He's going through hut, so that's gonna be an open bomb site for him. But again, doesn't matter. Let the guy plan if he wants. It's all about the retake afterwards. Smoke and Molotov still in play here. 15 seconds left. Zuri's just checking his bases, see if he can get a plant down, and he's gonna go for it. That's gonna prompt Zelos to move up, see if he can find him. He's looking through the cracks, see if he's in the site. I think he's just great job there by Zelos. Here's the bomb plant, looks to the crack between the sight boxes, knows exactly pretty much that he's going to be on the left side of his screen, and then has the perfect pre-aim to peek out and get the headshot on the unsuspecting terrorist.
Another good move. I like how Zelos actually went back into the squeakies. I'm going to sit far back there. My teammate is lower. He heard the bomb plant, like you said. He watched the side, didn't see anybody on the right side. Okay, most likely this guy's going to be either hiding in the corner of the hut or he's going to be in the hut. That's exactly what happened. And so far, what we've talked about this new nuke, I mean, CT side, 12-3, which is a typical score that you used to see on the old map. Now it's going to be interesting to see if Epsilon is able to actually close out that map, or if we're going to see LGR with a really strong CT side as well. Because 3 rounds is not that bad if we take into consideration how the old nuke was, because you could see like 13-2 and even 14-1 and 15-0 happening. But that pistol round is going to be really crucial for LGR, because if Epsilon win that pistol, then we're pretty much looking at a 16-3.
Yeah, it's going to be a wrap. So let's see what happens. No nades on the T side, so there's no execute or anything like that. I mean, they throw their decoys, but those are basically $50 paperweights, and they throw them all away. They go for a heavy Twinkie rush, which Zuri is out here, and they're just going to drop immediately into Mini and try to split upper, but Zuri gets a kill, gets the attention. The ramp players for the CTs are pushing, but terrorists have control over the upper bomb site. Looking for anything they can. Dragon coming up big, and then, man, just utilizing that that new ramp or that new ladder, so you can get up in the rafters easy in these terrorist afterplant situations, and Disco capitalizes big time. And Epsilon seemed to be primed to cruise into this victory.
I mean, just a perfect pistol round from Epsilon there. I really like that 3 fast rush outside rafters, 2 mini, and just like a typical pinch on an A-bomb site. Worked out really well because LGR was playing retake on A. And then whenever Draken went back into hut, there was 2 guys that pushed lobby, just sent 2 nice Glock shot on them, and it closed out a round from there.
And typical fashion of Epsilon's Anticos, let's push in their face with SMGs because we are the best. And it's working out pretty good. 4 on 3. Still some room to get some more kills. Zuri tags another player, but no one's able to capitalize it. The money sunk into that round pretty much leads me to believe that the CTs are going to force here. Yep, you're pretty much at a dire situation. Kind of like what we saw during that Mirage game when they switched over. The deficit is so big that's basically going to force you into forcing every single round you can just to get your foot in the door, where Epsilon can just cruise along and do whatever they want. So 4 players going in through the lobby. They're actually going to rush ramp, and it's only 7 here. Picks up 1, gets traded out. Draken gets that next kill, and the rotates are happening. Disco Doplin is outside alone, basically just waiting for someone to cross, and that is just a beautiful shot by him. So pressure on outside, pressure lower. LGR kind of looking around, seeing if maybe he's going to come down secret. Rez is already through the control room, able to pick up Zuri. Sagerton looking for another. Zelos stayed at ramp, is hearing all of the footsteps of this Twista, looking for more, picks up another one. Draken as well, and that is just a smooth round here from Epsilon.
And I mean, I think we're going to see that 16-3 going in. Obviously, like you said, LGR didn't really want to play for that overtime, so they actually forced. I mean, that's whoever's decision, the team decision. Like, it's hard to come back with that many rounds behind. I maybe would have liked to see them maybe go, like, let them get that 15-3 lead, and from there just full buy and try to go and win 12 rounds straight. But it's not every team that likes to do that. But because of that, right now their buy is, like, it's not looking that great.
So quick round coming in. Epsilon want to just get this over. It seems like Zuri has other ideas. Rez has even more different ideas. Picks up another 2. Freddy a third. 4 on 2. 7 outside flanking. Sagerton picking up 2. Just racking in these kills. Gets a third. And now it's a 1 on 2. Kind of an interesting situation. Mac 10 AK. Rez full nades walking outside. Already has 2 kills for the round. Sagerton playing by that CT red box. Rez is just going to continue all the way past. He doesn't see him. Oh my gosh, at the last second he spots him as soon as he moves. This is Counter-Strike timing at its finest. And now Sagerton is playing in a spot where his back isn't exposed when literally moments right before Rez could have got the shot. So he knows where he is. Pulls out the nade at the exact worst time. Counter-Strike at its finest again.
Timing, the timing is waiting for him for 10 seconds, and then the guy comes in when he has his nade out. I felt like this round, I mean, Sigurdsson just played fantastic with that Nova, but I feel like Epsilon maybe tried to go a bit too much frag on green, actually what cost them that round, but at the same time I feel like they're so confident right now. Like, I mean, it's a 15-4. They basically have, like, you know, yeah, exactly, every match point. There should be no way that they're losing this match.
Well, Sagerton wants to continue the trend of playing this map out, so he's going to get that pick on the res outside. Epsilon scrambling to see what they can do with it. They actually smoke out from the door. Freddy B gets into a great spot. Just a great lurk play, honestly. And evens it up, gets down the vent. Just having that threat of someone down the vent already puts so much pressure on the CTs that you have to make interesting position and decisions, like Twista here with a Mac 10 sitting behind the vent. So that's going to draw him. The other players need to come up big, and they do. Sagerton gets another kill onto Freddy. The terrorists are going to try to utilize this player that's down low already by going through vent or through ramp, and well, actually, he died. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Draken wasn't down lower anymore. He's opping from outside, gets a kill. So it's 3-on-3. They're just walked out ramp, so they can pretty much do whatever they want here. How the CTs have rotated, they're starting to clear secret, and there's one player above hut, and then what's that? One player lower. So the rotate isn't gonna be that great if Zuri here isn't able to pick up some kills. And Disco's already halfway up the ladder. He's just waiting. Zealous walking outside. That's a Mac 10 versus an AK. That's an easy kill. But just how that thing is positioned, that central rafter, Disco isn't able to find the angle. Starts planning. Oh my god, he's aiming right at him. No! Come on, you gotta hit your flusha button. But 7 goes up the vent. Tons of audio information. Draken gets the kill, and that's a 16-4. Again, closing thoughts from you?
I mean, fantastically from Epsilon on that nuke. I felt like it was a little bit unfortunate on LGR side because, like we said, it's more of a, or we still believe it's a CT side map and didn't really have that much room to work with. Felt like if LGR started on that CT side instead, we could have been looking at a more close type of match, maybe in the 16-10, 16-11 mark, but instead it looks really bad on the scoreboard. But I mean, if it's still the old nuke that we used to know, it's kind of normal to see that happening, especially since they lost that T-pistol, and they actually won the dirty pistol. Like LGR won their T-pistol, but actually got ecoed right off the bat. And right now they're going, if I remember correctly, in the loser bracket where they're going to be playing that Danish team called Delete, and Epsilon is moving forward in that upper bracket, and they're going to play Tricked.
Yeah. So that'll definitely be a good matchup. Again, this is the RGN Pro Series close qualifier for Europe, and that concludes this match. So let's ship it off. Where can people find you, Max?
My Twitter is MaxCCSGO. And what's yours?
And then mine is LDK_Hurricane, and that's HURIKANE because I can't spell. So thanks for listening to us. I hope you guys enjoyed the match. Stay tuned for more matches in this tournament, as you know, these are the people who, you know, down the line, they might be the future tier 1 European players, maybe for Counter-Strike Universal Offensive or whatever the next one's going to be. So keep an eye out on them. They're playing some great Counter-Strike. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye, guys.